Hello, my name's Todd Frisch with Oxbo International. I'm a sales representative for the application portion of our business. I myself have worked in the application industry for about 30 years now. We're here today to take a look at our Oxbo sprayer. We offer two models, a 7550 and a 7650. The only difference between the two models is the 7550 is a 1200 gallon tank and the 7650 is a 1600 gallon tank. So we're here today to take a walk around and look at some of the features and benefits of our units. Let's get started. Let's start at the front of the machine where all the loading is done. We have a very nice operator-friendly load arm here that just folds down, gives you a nice approach for hooking up your hoses to. We have a 3-inch product for product fill, 2-inch for your rinse tank fill. We also have a hand wash valve here with fresh water for you to rinse your hands off. We also have what we call our load arm keypad. You can do all your loading functions from down here. You can start your product pump, you can increase and decrease and agitate while you're loading to agitate your chemical. We also have 12-volt lugs on the load arm for you mini bulks and batteries and stuff like that you can use, so you don't need a separate power source. And an air chuck on here that you can get an optional hose or whatever for either cleaning off the unit or pumping up if you would get a low tire in the field. We have onboard air here so you can help yourself out. Alongside the load arm, we have our optional chemical eductor for loading product from the ground. Folds down so you don't have to go above for loading chemical. It can all be done right from down below here. The eductor itself has a jug rinse inside of it and a rinse for the inside of the eductor itself. It will take dry flowables like AMS and stuff like that. So again, very user friendly and easy to operate, easy for loading. Once again, the load arm, which is standard equipment on all models, and the chemical eductor, which is an option for those of you that don't load off of your nurse tanks. Next, I'd like to talk a little bit about the suspension we incorporate on our units. It is what we call a walking beam style suspension. Very few moving parts on it, so a lot less maintenance down the road. Right here we have the pivot point for our walking beam suspension. On the back side of the walking beam we incorporate a hydraulic cylinder tied to nitrogen accumulators right here to soften the ride and give you a nice ride through the field. The suspension itself gives you about 11 inches of travel up and down on each wheel. So as you're going through waterways and things like that, you don't have wheels coming off the ground and spinning out on you. I'd like to show everyone underneath the machine how clean and uncluttered everything is, from the product plumbing, which is very straightforward, to on the other side here, we actually use a lot of stainless steel lines versus hydraulic lines. Some of the benefits are the stainless steel lines dissipate heat much better, and if there is a rupture, an issue somewhere, it's very easy to trace versus hydraulic hoses that are all tied together in one big clump. It's very hard to service. This is a lot more serviceable. Also underneath on the back end of the unit, we have 3 poly service stores that we incorporate on the unit. They are standard equipment. The main purpose of them is to keep the engine compartment clean. As you can see, they're very easy to open and access. They give you access to things like hydrostatic filters, high pressure filters, and things that way. Changing oil, all done from right here in this area. Just like to show you our access to the machine or our ladder. You can see the first step is very nice and close to the ground, so you don't have to climb real hard. The ladder is also on a very nice angle for an approach to get on and off. Very operator friendly that way. Also, this little switch on the side of the ladder here is for our courtesy lights up along the deck for getting on and off in the morning early when it's dark out. So again, from a safety standpoint, you're not tripping on things. Also above on our catwalks, we actually have access to the right side of the tank that you can walk around the tank on the right hand side to get all the way up to the cab. There is a service door on the right side of the cab, so it's just a lot safer than having to crawl over fenders and things like that on other units. And the service door on the right side is also nice for opening up for doing any service work you have to do in the cab. And here we are in the cab. As you can see, it's a nice roomy cab. You can stretch your legs out. Obviously, seat fore and aft. The steering wheel actually has 2 tilt positions in it, depending how you like to have the steering wheel. And it also does have extendable steering wheel. It does extend in and out for you. So pretty well user friendly for just about anyone. You can customize it to what you like. Also, the side console itself does actually move up and down, depending how you're most comfortable. And it does go fore and aft, depending how you like to have it for operation, depending on how long your arms are. So very customizable for the comfort of the operator. Operator comfort is extremely important. We understand that. The side consoles here, the bottom console is actually what we call our chassis console. The top one will be your spray console. And you can, depending how you like it, you can actually flip-flop these consoles here also. So again, very customizable for depending what your operation is or how you like to look at things. Okay, let's go through the armrest controls, and I'll tell you what those are all about. The yellow one here is product pump on and off, park brake, tread adjust. We adjust our tread anywhere from 120 to 160 inches. Four-wheel steer option switch. 3-position throttle if you're not running in eco mode. You have a 1 and a 2 switch here for your 2 field speeds that you can preset in the chassis monitor. You have the primary folds, secondary folds, and then your fence line nozzles are right here on the side console. These switches here are actually not used at this point yet. On the hydro handle itself, on the top of the handle, we have 5 individual section shutoff switches. We have our left and right wing tilts and primary folds on the handle here. We have the master spray on and off and auto steering gauge on and off. On the side of the handle itself, the 2 yellow switches are actually your midsection up and down. So all the functions that you're going to be using while you're spraying are on the handle. There's no need to be reaching over to the side console for anything. All right, this is what we call our chassis monitor. This is monitoring the functions, fuel, RPM, speed, all that kind of thing while you're in the field. We do have the window right here is actually for the optional 4-wheel steer switch, where you can actually set your disable speed in the 4-wheel steer mode. So it'll kick out right now anywhere over 6 miles an hour. The 4-wheel steer will disengage. If you want to change that to a higher speed or a lower speed, just tap up or down on the icons and it will adjust the speed, and hit the green check, and now you've changed the disengage speed. Maximum speed for disengage is 10 miles per hour on our units. Also, the icon next to it here, the green one, we have built-in traction control on all of our units. There is a speed sensor in each wheel motor that if one wheel spins free, it will actually limit the oil to that wheel and direct it to the other wheel, so it prevents you from getting stuck. Also, we have backup camera on every model. It will automatically go on you when you go into the reverse position, or if you want to have it on all the time, you can just click on the icon for like going down the road if you want to watch behind you. Anytime you want to get rid of it, just tap on it again and it'll go back to your standard screen. For the 1 and the 2 switch down here for adjusting those field speeds, if you want to, you just tap on the speed. Number 1 right now is set at 8 miles an hour. I like to have that set down at a lower speed for moving in and out of buildings or load containments and stuff like that. It just makes the propel handle a lot less touchy, let's say. And then your spray speed, you can go all the way up to 18 miles per hour on our units here. And when you get the speeds set that you want, make sure you hit the green check, and that will make sure that those speeds are recorded. And now if we're in number 2, like we are here now, and if we're at full stick, we're going to be doing 18 miles an hour. We also have what we call eco mode on these units. If you don't want to use the 3-position throttle, if you're in eco mode, as you push the hydro handle forward, it will actually increase the RPM to what you need to propel to the proper speed that you have programmed in there. We also have what we call spray mode on here. Right now, everything is shut off in product sump, agitation, everything is shut off. When you light up the spray mode to go to spray, it opens the product tank sump, it opens your agitation to 50%, and you can go out and spray. The other screen I want to show you on here is actually our product screen. It actually shows you which valves are open and which ones are closed on this screen. So you can, when you shut off spray mode function, you can see everything goes closed. When you open it up again or turn on spray mode, it shows all which valves open. So it's very easy to read and know where you're at, so you know which valves are open and closed when you're operating if you want to rinse or do anything like that. All right, let's talk a little bit about rake controllers. At Oxbo, we offer 3 different options for rake controllers: Raven, Egg Leader, and John Deere. Now the Raven and the Egg Leader models come complete with console and antenna. If you order a John Deere spray controller system, you supply the console and the antenna for the controllers. It is pre-wired, it's just a plug and play, and you're good to go. This is obviously a Raven Viper 4 that we have in here. This model is actually has the Raven Hawkeye HD system on it, which means we have individual nozzle shut off on every nozzle of the boom, and we can have pressure compensation here, where you can actually program in what product pressure you want while you're spraying. Right now we're at 30 psi as we go through the field. The PWM nozzles actually pulsate to maintain that pressure at 30 psi. The Hawkeye system also has turn compensation, so as you're turning corners, the slower inside boom is spraying less and the outside is spraying more. To start a job on the Raven system, just go to Start Job. I like to name every job, so if something happens in the middle of the field where you have to go do something else or it starts raining, you can actually go back to that job name. It's easy to find and start over when you get back to the field. Only other thing to program in is the rate mode you want for the field, or the rate, 15 gallons per acre. Hit the green arrow and it will actually start the job. This is an actual run screen, which is very customizable, but this is a screen I like to use. As we start spraying, it'll start painting the field and showing us where we sprayed and where we haven't.
We're running the 120-foot Millennium Boom, which is a big upgrade. We were running 90-foot beforehand. We like the design of the boom and the sturdiness of the boom going across the field. It doesn't bounce and dance like our old boom did on the old sprayer. Love the 4-wheel steer. Be able to do one pass on the headlands and turn into the tracks and not have to worry about hitting stuff with the boom. Love the traction control and how we can get into the system and enable certain wheels, or disable them if we don't need them. And we've just found a lot of features that we really like on it. Once we started running it, we've got some farms that have some pretty good waterways and washes in it, and we were really surprised how smooth and steady we could come down into them and come out of them, and how it kept the boom stable. Also detasseling, we're in and out of a lot of irrigator ruts, and it's not an issue like it was with the 204s as far as bouncing through them. Kind of helps hold the boom steady going across the farm. We don't get a ton of boom walk out of it, so we really like it. I've heard guys are kind of leery of, they'll either have the sprayer or the detasseler, and I can't wrap my brain around why you wouldn't just want to buy the sprayer and put a detasseler on it, for the savings of having another machine and maintenance on another machine, with how quick we can switch it over and the versatility of it. I just, to me, couldn't justify owning another machine, just to do one job.
The Oxbo Model 7550 and 7650 sprayers are the most versatile sprayers you can buy today. With our quick attach option, you can detach the boom and actually add a TS4 toolbar for detasseling corn or various nitrogen application units. Thank you again, and if you have any questions or would like a demo on your farm, please contact us.